World history knows many empires, but only a few were based on a horse nomadic culture. Today we will talk about the tragic end of the last nomad state, Dzungaria. The name Dzungaria comes from the Mongolian Dzungar, left hand, or left wing. Genghis Khan divided Mongolia into left and right wings for governance. Geographically, Dzungaria was located in the western regions of modern Mongolia and in northern Xinjiang. It played an outstanding and tragic role in history. The Dzungars tried to unite Mongolia and restore its status as a great power. But they lost the war against the Qing Empire, after which part of the people perished and part scattered. The Dzungars are Oirats, or Black Oirats, Kalmyks, a large group of Mongolian tribes that separated in the early 14th century and quickly migrated westward. They fought against the Qing Empire, Russia, and steppe tribes, founding three khanates: Dzungaria, the Kalmyk Khanate, and the Khoshut Khanate. The strongest rival of Dzungaria became the Manchu Chinese Qing Empire, which, having conquered Chinese lands, turned its attention to its western neighbor. The Qing Empire tried to take Dzungaria out of the game, using its enormous human potential and resources. This marked the beginning of a tragic conflict. Before that, the Dzungars occupied eastern Turkestan, subjugating trade routes and defeating the Kazakhs and the Tian Shan Kyrgyz. The Dzungars controlled important trade routes and expanded their territories, becoming a significant force in Central Asia. Their influence stretched from the Gobi Desert to the interfluve of the Volga and Don rivers, covering vast expanses of steppes and plains. After their defeat, some Dzungars remained in history as Kalmyks, scattered across vast territories and preserving their culture. Dzungaria became the last nomadic state, whose history is an example of the struggle and tragedy of nomadic peoples. Today, the memory of the Dzungars lives on in historical chronicles and the culture of Mongolian peoples. The history of Dzungaria teaches us to value cultural diversity and remember the lessons of the past. The Dzungars forced recognition of their sovereignty, devastated the Fergana Valley, and subjugated the wealthy cities of Central Asia: Sairam, Tashkent, Shymkent, and Taraz. In the early 18th century, the Dzungars attacked Russian fortresses in southern Siberia, destroyed them, and halted the Russian Empire's expansion eastward. The Dzungars conquered Tibet and left their army there, but soon suffered defeat at the hands of the Qing Empire's army. The Chinese invaded Dzungaria, but the Dzungars won, holding their territories against the Chinese advance. The key to the Dzungars' success was the extensive use of firearms, which significantly enhanced their military potential. Having taken a Russian convoy with prisoners, several Swedes from the Battle of Poltava ended up in Dzungaria, one of whom was a master cannon founder. A Swede named Johann Gustav Renat and a fugitive Siberian convict established mass production of cannons and mortars in Dzungaria. Thanks to their help, the Khanate achieved unprecedented military successes by using European battle tactics and rifle shooting. The Swede gained freedom, and the Dzungars won victories over the Kazakhs and Tian Shan Kyrgyz thanks to new military knowledge. The Dzungars learned to combine Mongolian cunning and fury with modern European military innovations. According to Dzungar data, in the early 1740s, they had several thousand light guns transported by camels. Heavy artillery and mortars numbered in the dozens, creating a powerful artillery potential for the Khanate. To the sounds of large drums and the roar of battle cries, the Dzungars went into battle, demonstrating their power and discipline. The Dzungars went into battle, stunning the Kyrgyz, Kazakhs, and Russian Cossacks unaccustomed to such tactics. Their cannons thundered so loudly it seemed the sky was falling to the earth. The end of Dzungaria came unexpectedly. After the Third War with the Qing Empire, a struggle for the throne began in Dzungaria, weakening the state. Qing troops surrounded Dzungaria with a ring of 500,000 warriors. Their tactic, to overwhelm by numbers, brought success this time. The extermination began. Qing soldiers killed everyone they met, capturing villages one after another and leaving only ashes behind. Dzungaria was devastated. Up to 90% of the population died, perished from hunger and disease, or left their homeland. The roads of Dzungaria were strewn with corpses, rivers ran red with blood, and the air was filled with smoke from burning yurts. Kazakhs and Kyrgyz actively joined the struggle for Dzungaria's inheritance, seeking to seize the abandoned lands. Between 1753 and 1755, the Kazakhs captured more than 10,000 families from Ili and Emil. In 1757 to 1758, Kazakh Batirs attacked the Altai Kalmyks. Batirs Naiman Koksal Barak and Kipchak Koshkarbay became especially famous for avenging the Kalmyks for raids and the defeat of the Amursana and Abalai detachment. In 1754, Kazakh Batirs crossed the Irtysh and invaded the mountain and Mongolian Altai, spreading fear and taking boys, women, and livestock captive. Kyrgyz from Alay, under the leadership of Kubaturbi, took the Talas Valley, while the Sari-Bagish occupied the upper reaches of the Chu and Isyk-Kul rivers at the same time. During the period 1757 to 1758, Dzungaria, the last nomadic empire, was completely destroyed. The Chinese historian Wei Yuan, who lived from 1794 to 1857, wrote that the number of Dzungars by 1755 was no less than 200,000 yurts. The Russian historian Skobelev believed that with an average of 4.5 people per yurt, the Dzungar population reached about 900,000. The losses of the Dzungars can be represented as follows. The Derbes, who supported the Chinese and did not participate in the uprisings, numbered about 150,000 people, or 20%. In Siberia, northern Mongolia, and the mountain Altai, about 60,000 Dzungars survived, and in Dzungaria itself, about 40,000. The Kazakhs and Kyrgyz took about 100,000 Dzungars captive, while about 200,000 died from hunger and smallpox epidemics. Another approximately 50,000 Dzungars died in internecine wars and raids by Kazakhs and Kyrgyz. If you add up all the losses and subtract from the total population of 900,000, you can understand the number of Dzungars destroyed by Qing troops. The Kalmyk people experienced hard times. The Tsarist authorities increased pressure, seizing lands in the Volga region for agricultural development, which caused anti-Russian sentiments among the Kalmyks. In 1771, the majority of the Kalmyks, about 170,000 out of 230,000, led by Ubashi Noyon, made the Torgut escape, or the Dusty March. Their route passed through the entire modern Kazakhstan to Dzungaria. Along the way, the Kalmyks were constantly attacked by Kazakhs, which was exacerbated by hunger, diseases, and the hardships of the journey. As a result of the attacks and severe trials, no fewer than 100,000 refugees perished. The survivors were accepted by the Qing authorities and settled on the former lands of Dzungaria. Sometime later, part of the refugees, dissatisfied with high taxes and heavy obligations, tried to return to Russia, but few succeeded. The Qing border guards caught the fugitives, and Russia did not welcome their return. Today, the descendants of the Dzungars, who once created a vast steppe empire, live in Kalmykia, the western AI Mags of Mongolia, in the northern part of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and in Qinghai Province near Lake Kokonor.